All right, let's get right into it. We've got a huge story today. Is it justice or is it a political hit job? We're talking about the FBI raiding one of President Trump's biggest critics, John Bolton, and the claims that this is all just a presidential vendetta.
And hey, before we jump in, do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. You are not going to want to miss where this whole thing goes. Okay, let's set the scene. Imagine you're John Bolton, right? Former national security advisor. And all of a sudden the FBI is at your door, hauling out boxes. No, this isn't some movie script. This actually just happened.
And almost immediately, the Wall Street Journal's editorial board, well, they came out swinging. And they had let's say, a very clear theory about what was really going on here.
Yeah, they did not mince words. The Journal looked at this raid and pretty much said this smells like political revenge. Vindictive. That is a seriously powerful word, and they put it right out there for everyone to see.
And they didn't stop there. Oh no. They called it a full-blown vendetta campaign. They're basically arguing this has zero to do with the law and everything to do with using the power of the federal government to settle a personal score.
But, of course, that's just one side of the coin, right? The White House, you can bet, had a completely different story about why federal agents were suddenly raiding a former top advisor's home.
So what was their official line? This is all about cleaning house. A spokeswoman came out and said that the last administration weaponized the government and, quote, President Trump is restoring law and order. A total shutdown of that whole vendetta claim.
And there you have it, the two completely opposite stories. On one side, the Wall Street Journal is screaming vindictive vendetta. On the other, the White House is calmly saying, nope, we're just restoring law and order. We're talking about two completely different realities here.
So, you might be asking, how in the world did we get here? Well, to understand the accusation, you've got to understand the bad blood between Trump and Bolton. And trust me, there is a lot of it.
Just look at this timeline. It is incredibly tight. So last week, Trump meets with Putin. Just a few days later, Bolton goes all over the media, blasting the summit. And the very next day, boom, the FBI raids his home. That sequence of events, yeah, that's what's raising so many eyebrows.
And Bolton, he was not pulling any punches. He hopped on a podcast and called his old boss the world's worst negotiator. He even claimed Trump was too busy watching a soccer game to prep for his meeting with Putin. Ouch.
And believe me, it gets even more personal. Bolton has actually written before that Trump is just fundamentally unfit to be president. He warned that if Trump got a second term, he would be laser-focused on one thing, getting back at his enemies.
And look, this bad blood, it definitely goes both ways. The Wall Street Journal points back to a time when Trump actually ended Bolton's protective security detail, an act the paper called nothing but gratuitous viciousness.
So, just when you think this whole thing can't get any more like a crazy political thriller, a new piece of evidence drops, and it adds a whole other layer of suspicion to the entire story.
So, what do you think? Was this just a super bizarre coincidence, or was it a clue, a little signal of what was about to happen?
Okay, check this out. This is a tweet from the FBI Director, Kash Patel. No one is above the law. At FBI agents on mission. Seems like a pretty standard thing for an FBI director to tweet, right? Well, it's all about the timing.
And here is the kicker. This tweet, it went out just minutes before the news about the Bolton raid went public. For the Wall Street Journal, this was the smoking gun, a sign that the president's allies were totally in on the payback.
Okay, let's zoom out for a second and put all these pieces on the board. What is the real story playing out here? What we've got here is a perfect storm. You've got a president who, his critics say, is obsessed with revenge. You've got a former advisor who's now one of his loudest critics. You have a huge newspaper amplifying all of it. And caught right in the middle, the FBI.
Which brings us right back to the central question of this whole mess. Are we watching a real legal process play out? Is this about justice, or is this the government being used as a weapon for political revenge?
Honestly, you can make a strong case for either side. And that's why we want to know what you think. Drop your take in the comments. Revenge or justice? Let us know.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you dug this breakdown, hit that like button. And definitely subscribe for more deep dives into the stories you need to know about. We'll see you in the next one.